Hello, everybody. Welcome to your November 2024 discussion, semi-astrological, intuitive discussion forecast. I like to think of these more and more as kind of extemporaneous shares, where I'm not as tied down by the heavy mathematics of the astrology. I'll leave that to others who go deeply with this. I use astrology in the context of my clients' coaching to help people kind of understand the themes that they constructed before they came on planet. And it's very helpful in that regard. I see it as kind of a therapeutic tool. So welcome, and I want to thank you for subscribing. You have lessened. I only have 30 unsubscribing accounts per month instead of 60. So thank you for helping me overcome some of the shadow banning that's been going on since 2020. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing all of the stuff that YouTube creators ask you to do for them, but it does help. So thank you. So we are moving into November, and it's a very interesting time because we are moving into the United States election, which will be held on November 4th. And as we are on this path of awakening to these curated realities that have actually been quite intent upon keeping our consciousness low, keeping fear and chaos and distraction going. As we are awakening to this, we see more and more of the construct. Because remember, we have a lot of solar energy coming in, very strong solar energy, which literally is upgrading biological systems. It's affecting the consciousness of Earth herself. And in turn, it is downloading into us. Different people are perhaps maneuvering and working with it differently, but the more that you're aware that this is an opportunity to integrate this conscious energy from our central star, from the galactic plane that we are operating on, from all of these influences that are on track to help us with this ascension process. So I just want to remind you, we have about 50 trillion cells in our body, and cells have receptors that tune into information. Our cells, 50 trillion in the field. DNA is actually a fractal antenna. As you change your perception, it changes that which you're connecting with in the field. And it changes the shape and the function of the DNA. My guides went into this quite deeply about 6 months ago that I was sharing on Patreon, telomeres and how those are changing. I share more over there, more consistently perhaps. And this allows you, the changing of the DNA allows you to tune into different facets and information in the field. So in essence, our consciousness doesn't live within us at all. It lives outside of us in the field. And it's not contained within the physical body. And however we are functioning with our own biological health, cellular health, and the more we can integrate all of this energy pouring onto planet through meditation, through rest, through food, through hydration, through, any of those intelligent practices that are helping us to integrate and to move beyond this third density that has been so strong on this planet for millennia. And it's often about needing to get the ego out of the way. Ego is about fear and control, and it's a different way of approaching consciousness and connection. It's where creativity and imagination lives. It is allowing information to flow through you. You know, that's what we channelers and intuitives are doing, is we're getting the ego out of the way to allow us to connect with information in the field. And this may be for a collective, this may be for a client, but that is a very real practice where we're letting go of control and we're a container and a transcriber of the information that's coming in. So this is very much a part of the trajectory on this planet. And I was sharing on my channeled live stream over on Patreon, I was traveling recently. And that's always a great way for me to tune into collective energy, to see how people are doing, people traveling from all different places. And for the first time in the 3 years that I've been, zipping about, I saw an uptick in the emotions, in the frequency, in the auric energy that I was seeing with some people. More eye contact, shoulders back, more uplifting connection. I was very pleased when I returned home from my trip to see that there, from my perspective, has been absolutely shifts and changes with more peace and love and cooperative energy and connection with others. That is our true nature, is to love and cooperate and to be helpful and to be interested and to engage. So very, very positive this. And, my clients and other patrons have been sharing, I've been feeling better and better. And if you aren't, this is not a comparison modality either, because everyone is so unique in their own construct and in their own field. You may be fatigued. You may be needing more rest. You may need to get away from things more, from what I'm going to name this video. I'm going to call it The Game, Awakening to the Game. I think Chris Hedges named it aptly when he called the political system a burlesque of politics. And politics is, or Frank Zappa called it, the entertainment arm of the military-industrial complex. So, it's kind of an interesting approach. We have these people donning personalities, projecting images into the field, wanting you to believe that image, prescripted reality, and to elect them into what is essentially kind of a figurehead or a front-facing position, in which so many place so much power onto that one person. When you start seeing the game, you look more towards the money, the flow of money. It can be more of an election between hedge funds, in my view, and different qualities that they would like to see happen in the world. So I've never been as privy or pulled into the divisionary constructed qualities. And if you are, I understand, and I hold space for that, because they're using everything in the kitchen sink to elicit response, anger, fear, confusion, distraction. This has been the game on planet for millions of years, thousands of years. And because of the timing, this amazing bridge that we're on, that the solar weather is bringing in and is part of even an orchestrated or a cyclical process that we're involved in that is not going away. It's where we can hold space for ourselves, because certainly we see most people with these programs embedded upon them that are tied into self-esteem issues, lack issues, fear issues, and that is very much a part of the game that has been used to lower consciousness to operate with the DNA, your cells, so that you focus on a certain frequency out there in the field. This is very high tech and very kind of pseudo, if you will, mystical, these skills and these techniques that they use on humans to keep that DNA at a certain level and no higher. So that's part of awakening to the game and understanding that this has been going on for some time. And as you're awakening to the constructed reality, what follows is the necessary integration of all of the low vibrational programs that have been used on us and through our family, society, our education system, our media, through movies. They've been working very hard through movies and entertainment the past 20 years to really keep that consciousness low. The Walking Dead, I mean, just really, really low vibrational things. So when you understand that this is a very conscientious use of images, frequency, sounds, etc., to affect human consciousness, that empowers you to choose differently. And so too is this affecting, the election system and the reliable emotional reactions, especially in the United States. The moon conjuncts Pallas, and Pallas is a minor planet that has everything to do with politics. And moon conjunct Pallas in the third house of the United States chart is, this is a country that makes a lot of emotional decisions around politics, maybe not so fact-based, maybe not so studying things and peeking behind the scenes of the cult of personality, all of that. And certainly on the election, we are seeing Pallas transiting through the first house of the United States, almost in conjunction with Venus, and this is in Sagittarius in the tropical chart. So ideology, finances, Venus, identity, relationships, Venus, females, men, because this conjunction is also opposing Mars at 21 degrees of Gemini in the 7th house of the United States chart. Mars is also the warring quality that this country has in starting up things in other countries. So war and wars and ongoing wars, and that machine is, I imagine, going to be a focus as well, and how much money is filtered out through the country into these different hedge funds and banking systems and, military businesses. It's a huge money-making prospect for these behind-the-scenes players. War is extremely profitable. It always has been and always will be. So that's very interesting, the setup that's coming in. Now, on the 1st of November, we have a new moon in Scorpio at 9 degrees. So in the tropical, this is bringing up the transformational finances, resources, psychological components. This is Libra in the sidereal, which is about justice, relationships, equality, fairness. And this new moon will be trining Saturn in Pisces, very stable here. Pisces is, consciousness and glamour and illusion and delusion, but also spirituality and intuitive creativity. This new moon is making a wide square to Mars, an out of sign square to Cancer, and a wide out of sign square to Pluto in the last degree of Capricorn, which we will be saying goodbye to this month. So this is moving through things. I'm finding a lot of people doing really well with Pluto squares, etc., moving beyond the limitations and shedding skin and getting fresher and cleaner and feeling better. So there may be a quality about this at this new moon and into the next few weeks ahead, as well as the shifting tones of our relationships and our connections with others. That's so important. That's where That's where our power is in our local communities and with our families and with our friends, and all the divisionary tactics that have been used to try and divide us. So that's something to keep handy in your mind. You know, your beliefs are not who you are. Your beliefs have been cultivated very carefully to manufacture a response and a consent. We also are seeing on the 2nd of November the perfection of the Jupiter-Chiron sextile, and that is from 20 degrees of Gemini to Aries. They're both retrograde. Chiron will station direct in December, Jupiter in February. So it's another opportunity here for some healing with identity, belief patterns, communication patterns, Gemini, also information, factual data, etc. This can carry quite a healing component too, if you hold some space for that. It's been the orb of influence takes us back into, I think, the 3rd week of October anyway, but it perfects on the 2nd of November. And then on the 3rd of November, we have Mars transiting into Leo. He's moving very slowly now, only about 11 degrees from now until the end of December. He's going to be retrograding December 6th in Leo at 6 degrees. The sign of kings and managers and entertainment. Also the heart. Children has been, will be a big focus on planet, because becoming aware of children, why there are so many millions of children that go missing every year, is a part of being aware of the power structure on this planet. It is more deeply connected than many can even perceive, because most of us are human, well-functioning, kind people. And to imagine that children are being used in this way is often beyond believability for the average person. But no doubt it still lives there and is a part of this constructed reality. He will be transiting through Leo until June of next year. So he'll station retrograde on the 6th of December. He stations direct February 24th. Mid-degree of Cancer. So we're going to be going back into security and family and home and real estate before he heads back into Leo a little bit later in 2025. So we are heading into what's going to begin this month is quite a protracted time through mid-April for self-reflection. And the reason for that is Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde on the 25th of November at 23 degrees of Sagittarius until December 15th. I think he stations direct early Sagittarius, but Mercury's retrograde is going to be kicking off one after another personal planet retrograde that will take us through mid-April. So first it's Mercury, then Mars will retrograde on the 6th of December until the end of February. As he stations direct, Venus will station retrograde March 1st until April 12th. So I you know, this is helpful. I think we need more introspection, because really when your consciousness and changing, the focus is in here, not out there. Third dimension is look out there. What should I do? What are they telling me to do, etc.? How am I being perceived? It's a completely different kind of engagement that is a strong learning now. I'm discussing this a lot, again, over with patrons and in the forecasts that I do over there, kind of a more psycho-spiritual kind of forecasts, if you will. And so this, I believe, will serve us to slow down, to be more of that receptive force on behalf of ourselves, to help us untangle some of these lower vibrational programs so that we can clear them, integrate them, and move on to our brilliant solar heart-based self. This can aid us during this journey if you perceive it this way. And this is also true, the astrology, in my view, and why I look at the sidereal. I like to see what's going up in the sky. Mars will be retrograding in Cancer in the sidereal, because we're becoming more aware of our solar connection, our galactic connection, moving away a bit more from the time-based system that is operational on Earth, of course, and we are here to be in our body on Earth. But why including the sidereal, the constellation astrology, is also helpful for a broadening perspective and nuance moving forward. On the 11th, Venus will be shifting into Capricorn, where she will be until December 7th. That's Sagittarius in the sidereal, our belief systems. Venus in Capricorn is all about the Pluto Capricorn, the final days of Pluto in Capricorn, the structure, the hierarchy, the patriarchy, and but also these systems that do serve us in some of their structures that are actually pro-human and helpful to us. Venus is very kind of bottom line. Capricorn is about getting organized, getting things done. It's tied to business, functional qualities of love even. And then on the 15th, Saturn stations direct at 13 degrees of Pisces. He's going to be holding this degree until December, till Christmas in the United States, until December 25th. So if you have anything between the 11-12 degrees, let's pull it back to 9 to 16 degrees in any of the mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, you're going to really be feeling the Saturn station, which is going to help you. Squares are about taking action, moving beyond an impasse, maybe patience, maybe working through fear themes or limitation themes. So Saturn is always about the creation of material in the material field, you know, through our consciousness, through our actions. So this will start picking up. And Saturn is in Aquarius in the sidereal, which is about our groups and our connections and getting together with others to accomplish something. There's usually, with Saturn and Aquarius, people get together for a unified reason, to whether it's having fun or getting together to help lobby local legislators, or there's a wisdom and there's a purpose behind Saturn in Aquarius. And on the 15th is also the full moon this month, and this is at 24 degrees of Taurus Aries in the sidereal conjunct Uranus. Some more shifts, changes, surprise, breakthroughs, breaking free. Uranus is always seeking to kind of deregulate, shift regulated patterns. Remember, chaos is necessary for creativity, because without the disruption of that which is, there would be no growth and evolution. You know, they talk about that in chaos theory. There's even a planet called Chaos, but it's extremely creative element, chaos. It gets us out of the known, sometimes unwillingly. Pushes you out the door, pushes you out the window, where you have to fly and you have to try something different. And in my view, that is divine intelligence at work. And especially when I'm reading clients' charts, I can see the divine intelligence working, even though our conscious mind may not be fully aware of the themes that we're moving through. So it's helpful and reassuring to know that when change is thrust upon us, it's because your higher self, that which you've deemed for yourself in this lifetime, it is needed to bring about change and shifts. And this full moon is sextiling Neptune, still retrograde in Pisces, and it is trining Pluto, the final 4 days of Pluto in Capricorn. So this is bringing culminations intuitively, creatively, structurally, with hierarchical systems, governments, your own career. There may be developments, shifts, and changes. Taurus, of course, is about our values, what we value, also our talents and abilities. And with Uranus transiting through Taurus, it's been bringing a lot of change to what we collectively value. It's also been bringing a lot of more kind of intuitive content through these waves, through the ether, right? And the plasma and all of the energy, electromagnetic energy that's been pulsing both up from the earth herself and down from the sky. So hold space for this, see what comes up for you. And in Aries, in the sidereal, there may be a real shift in how you think about yourself, right? Because Aries is about changing identity, changing aspects of how we think about who we are. And that is absolutely appropriate at this time, because we need to change how we think about who we are. We are divine, and divine is not that you're a rarefied being sitting in the clouds. Divine is understanding that you're a creator being, a creative being, and you're working with that through your conscious technology that resides within your body, through the cells, through the fractals, through the DNA, through the telomeres, all of that. Fascinating. And then on the 19th, Pluto exits Capricorn, and now he fully enters Aquarius through 2044, the next 20 years. So the past 16 years of Capricorn, you can ruminate on all of the shifts and changes that have occurred in your life in Capricorn, and maybe have a ceremony about it, some acknowledgement, some in memoriam, because we are heading into new territory indeed. On the 21st, the Sun makes his annual shift into Sagittarius, which is Scorpio in the sidereal, for the next 4 weeks. So where the archer is seeking to integrate the higher self with the animal or base instinct. Let me paraphrase that. Sagittarius is integrating higher consciousness with ego and personality, and how to house that in your physical body. And then on the 25th, Mercury stations retrograde until mid-December. The station retrograde at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So, and that is Scorpio in the sidereal. So we are doing a look back now. We're looking back at transformation and change patterns in our life. Scorpio is about the shamanic, the alchemical experiences. Mercury is siblings, relatives, your friends, your neighbors, revisiting, reconnecting. And in Sagittarius, it can be trips and travel, connecting to people and places that you're revisiting as well. Lots of possibilities here. And, you know, as always, with a Mercury retrograde, you know, the days surrounding the retrograde and the station direct can be a little clunky. It upsets the normal patterns, especially of mail systems and delivery systems. You may have to wait longer, double check that you put the order in. Probably not a great time for holiday shopping. If you engage with that, you might want to button that up about a week early, or wait until about the 17th or after of December to get that done. But we're doing a look back with the Mercury retrograde to our thoughts, to our ideas, and to our connections. All right, everybody. Much love to you. Blessings. If you'd like to support me on Patreon to keep all of this content that I've offered free and lovingly through the past 15 years, that would be very much appreciated. And I do feel that it would hold value for you. And I do have savings now on my single sessions through November 7th. I'm calling it election savings. So if you'd like to come in and check in, you may find that very helpful. It's a very supportive, kind, multi-dimensional kind of experience as well. All right. Take care.